Hello everyone, welcome back. It's our old friend from, I don't know, a few days ago, The Curse of the Golden Idol. I'm still like a little bit torn on whether I want to finish the game, but, you know, it's good fun to flex those investigation muscles even if I'm not like a genius at it. And it's the Steam sale, so a good time to buy some games. So this is the full version. It did not save any progress from the demo, so I had to speed run the first 4 scenarios. I didn't have to. I could have taken hours, but I still remembered the answers, so I just clicked on things to get enough words to type everything in. I noticed also it changed around. This was the 4th scenario in the demo, and this was the 3rd. So maybe that would have helped somehow. Someone told me that in a comment that doing this one before this one helps me with. This was the one I got stuck on, so maybe it would have been easier in the other order. But let's just carry on now. I believe there are 12 scenarios. We did 4 of them in the first 2 videos. And I notice now there's like, just like there was this little movie cinematic here. There's one for chapter 2. So let's have a look at this thing. The Little Mermaid, yeah, they're at the tavern. Good morning, innkeeper. I heard a man was murdered here a week ago. Aye, a deranged convict did him in. Now bugger off. Tell me more about the evening when Willard Wright died. I will make it worth your while. Is this guy like playing with a coin in between his fingers instead of just like offering it? Like, what kind of weirdo does that? Okay, is this me? Maybe. Probably not though. I seem to be some sort of mystic able to investigate the past magically. But okay, so someone is looking into this, and this guy came in a week later is when he was looking into it. Okay. And of course there's the whole kind of like, I don't know, we seem to be learning the tale of the Cloudsleys, right? These have all been centered on a Cloudsley. Or really, Sebastian is the center of a lot of it, right? I forget, was this Sebastian here? It was someone else, right? Yeah, Albert. Okay. But then this was how Sebastian Cloudsley died. This was disputing Sebastian Cloudsley's will. And here, the idol that Sebastian Cloudsley gave to Willard Wright, I guess must have been stolen, right? Because it only now occurred to me. Willard Wright doesn't have the idol in his possession at this time, right? But this is just a couple days, I believe, or maybe even one day after the... Maybe we could find out, right? Where's the... This is September 9th. If we go back here, when was this? When was this? September 7th. So 2 days later, Willard Wright doesn't have the idol anymore. So we can only assume that Ash Blair killed him with the intent of... Oh, this is the wrong scenario. With the intent of getting the idol from him. Well, he wanted the idol and ended up having to stab him in the... when Willard woke up. But... I still... Someone said in a comment, look at the letters people have for coded messages. And I'm like... This must be the one with a coded message in it, but I'm completely lost. I don't see anything here that looks like a coded message. Are there supposed to be like some of these letters are in bold or something and you are supposed to notice those? If so, that's way too subtle for me. It just looks like all the T's are in bold. I don't know. If there's some coded message, I'm not seeing it. So anyway, on to scenario 5, the Cursed Inheritance. The Intoxicating Dinner Party. Oh, we're in the whole chapter of the Cursed Inheritance. This is the Intoxicating Dinner Party. Okay, so we can go upstairs. Looks like we can go this way as well. Oh my goodness. So is it just 4 rooms? Looks like a lot of rooms. Holy cow. Okay. What's upstairs from here? This place. How do I go down from here? Oh, I see. Okay, first thing to do when investigating the scene of a death is to see who has died. And in this case, I believe it is this person lying very ragdollishly on the couch while everyone around swoons and shouts. And this was Rose Kubert, as I recall, from the inheritance discussion scene. She used to have more rings than this. She had like 6 or 7 rings, right? Maybe she's just like wearing some of them or doesn't take the same rings for inheritance discussion as she does to dinner parties. But maybe one was stolen. Okay, so that's a person. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna have to figure out... Yep, who was sitting where based on what they ate and what they didn't eat. And I guess that's gonna tell us something about... Like, we'll know the person who drank the cloudy liquid was poisoned or something like that, right? Okay. Now, this is Edmund Cloudsley. If you don't recognize his face, there's the monogram thingy to remind you. It's poison. Nobody touch the thing and nobody move. I'll send for a doctor right away, as if that were one word. And he has a key. And another key. Interesting. Do we know whose house this is? It doesn't say. I mean, maybe this will tell me, but I want to explore upstairs first. This is a new person. She says this is horrible. She has an embroidered handkerchief, but no initials on it. How dare you. And this person, I believe, is also new. She does seem rather unwell. It's extremely upsetting. He's the only one uncouth enough to bring money to the party, apparently. You killed my aunt, you devil. I should execute you on the spot. So this is Peter Batley. We learned about him in the inheritance discussion scene. And this was his aunt, I don't know. I live in the middle of those two words. And is this the butler or something? Oh my lord, this has nothing to do with me. Note to self, if you get frustrated when working, remember the tale about the rich lord who married his donkey and you will feel better, okay? A note from Peter. Ensure that the beautiful lady sits next to me during dinner and I will slip you a shilling. A note from Peter. Okay, so we can assume that probably happened. And, you know, of the 5 people up here who look like they were the ones at the dinner party, we can probably assume that he wasn't talking about the old woman. He was talking about the young woman. And also, one of these people is named Peter. Well, that's this guy, right? Peter Batley. Is this a man or a woman? It's hard to tell. I think a man, right? This is the kind of weird thing they wore back then. The face doesn't really give it away, though. Maybe there's a mustache there, but maybe it's just... I think it's just floppy skin. Okay, so I think we've looked through this room. We haven't answered all the questions, but we've collected all the evidence. At least. And that's the first step. Well, I don't know. The first step is whatever makes the most sense at the time. So somehow I magically know the keys to the safe, or maybe I can peer through it with my magical eyes. Or maybe it's just not locked. They forgot to lock it. Who knows? Now here's the idol. That is curious. What is that doing here? Because Willard Wright took it on September 7th, as I recall. And on the 9th, he was dead. And now it's back here at maybe Miss Kubert's place? How did she get it back? And a bunch of money. Why would Ash Blair bring it back here? Don't know. Platinello. Ideal Republic. Visions of Utopia with order and structure. Is it like a Plato thing, maybe? I don't know. Dr. Abram Anderton, secret codes. Okay. Aha! Yeah, but... Is this really... So I was actually looking for something like this in the secret code in the last... But I was only looking at the first letter of each word, of each line for some reason. Maybe I should maybe if you look at the first word of each line, it would have been totally clear. Yeah, okay. So let's go back and look at the 2 letters in this and search them for secret codes. Remember, company fullest, never port, B answer, B product with most, B must. That's probably not it. But this one, like, it's written by a cult guy. It's definitely got a secret message, right? I send he will. I September without already my May proud beast. I don't think that's right. Any other letters going around? I don't think so. Well, there's letters written here. I you for any wine your, I if mine your? I don't think that's a coded letter either. Coded message. All right, carrying on. We've learned what kind of code is not being used in that example. Here's another safe. I can open this as well. 2 sealed bottles of cloudy liquid labeled peptic tonic. Well, that's like a digestive, right? That's not poison. Cloudy liquid is a digestive. Okay. Due to the sensitivity of your stomach, I advise abstaining from alcohol for the next month. Also consider a glass of peptic tonic before eating to avoid upsetting your digestive system. In case you didn't know what the words peptic tonic means. And then there's a sealed bottle labeled opium. I mean, opium is a drug. I don't know how much of it is lethal. I assume some amount. You know, everything has an LD50. I don't know what it is for opium. But we can guess, maybe, that if you mix it like 50-50 with somebody's wine, they would be very sick. I don't know. Dear Edmund, finally a useful word. There's not a lot of words around here, by the way. February 10th, 1788. Wait a minute, what was the date? What year was this? Oh, so this is like a year and a half later. At least. Because this person has a letter from a year and a half afterward. Dear Edmund, since this cannot continue, since my return and move to Sebastian's manor, he has asked for financial support 7 times. He clearly is unable to take any monetary responsibility. Please, I need your help, my dear brother. Sincerely, Rose Cubert. Well, wait a minute. Who has asked for financial support 7 times? Not Sebastian. He died. Peter Batley. That makes sense. He's a gambling addict. So I guess the he is implied in this message. We're not talking about Sebastian. Dear Ed, so we must be at Edmund's house, right? 1788. It was 1786, right? I'm not getting the timelines mixed up on this? Yeah, okay. Dear Edmund, I like your idea. Let's send him to colonies where his violent nature will make him feel at home. I hear you are having dinner with Lady Mary and her well-to-do father, Lothar. If Peter and I were to join you, we could beguile him with tales of adventures in the colonies so we can ship him away. Rose Cubert. Okay, yes, definitely talking about Peter in that case. So, I'll look at this, I guess, now. Mrs. Baker's starting date. 1781, August 1st. Position housemaid, yearly wage £7. So, Mary and Lothar and Peter and Edmund and Rose are the people at this party. So we can mark some of them out now. We don't know who this Baker person is. We haven't found the housemaid yet. But this is Mary. Right? Did I forget already? Yeah, and Father Lothar. And they presumably share a last name. This must be Mr. Lothar, right? Well, actually, I don't know. There are two old men here who I don't know. Oh, no, that's Peter Batley. I do know this person. Which one is he in this? I guess that's him. You are Rose. You're Edmund. This is the butler, so this must be Lothar. And maybe the baker, the butler could be Mr. Baker, right? Mrs. Baker started as a housemaid. You know, maybe she's related to the butler. It's possible. I don't know how things were back then. But I won't assume it. Oh my gosh, more letters in the trash. Well, well, Edmund, you seem pretty pleased after the old boy passed away and a spot freed up for you in the House of Lords. Take care of those with whom you ally. I have many friends and will deal with you swiftly if you dare cross me. George Bridges. Well, you after and the take you and swiftly lord. Okay, doesn't seem like there's a coded message in that one either. The revolution will come for the likes of you, you crooked bastard. Soon you will pay for your sins against honest common folk with your blood. Okay, final Vanguard. So this is like political hate mail, I guess. That's in the trash. Edmund Cloudsley. Finally have that word or name. Once more you have failed to answer our requisition. This is the last warning you will receive. Your transgressions against us demand amends. The only course of action you have is to surrender yourself to our justice. Last chance for repentance, serpent, or we will unleash one of our stewards upon you. Brotherhood of Masks. Is that the same Brotherhood who was being discussed here? I don't think so. Hard to tell, really. The Brotherhood, and then they never mentioned what Brotherhood. Yeah, it actually could be the same one. Okay. Dear Uncle. Okay, Peter Batley we have. I hear you are interested in Lady Richards. I think you are too old for her. I shall court her instead. Secondly, please lend me 300 pounds. It is small change to you, and I am desperately in need of it at present. Okay. Noted. So this isn't just Peter, it's Peter Batley. Lady Richards. Well, I mean, that must be... Did I not get the word Richards? Oh, it's not here. I can't click it. That's the problem. That must be Mary's name. And I think, therefore, also her father's name, if she's not married, right? Okay. Kitchen cabinet. We're supposed to know what's in the kitchen cabinet and who ate where. Boy, there's... Okay, there's going to have to be a lot of stuff to learn. Door's locked. The door's locked. I don't know. I've only really looked at not even 2 entire rooms out of 4. I guess there is a lot more information coming. Remember to take the 4th one from every row. Ah. So maybe this is a key to decoding a secret message. We shouldn't look at the first line of every row, but the 4th? Stack of candles, Raul Cthulhu's Star Child, an ink pot. So whoever was staying here can write and read. We know that at least. 4 shillings and a penny. I will not change the rule that the staff member who's worked here the longest gets the bottom room. Do not bother me with such nonsense again, okay? So that'll tell me who works there a little bit. Mademoiselle, the laceless count, the besmirched lover of Lusitania. and a knife. A pair of twig dolls and a bottle of pink liquid, partially empty. Once your target has ingested the love potion, establish eye contact and hold it for as long as possible. In most cases, the effects will be felt within 2 days, depending on your own appearances. Huh. So this is a staff member's room. It's not like Peter Batley is trying to put a love potion in Lady Lothar or Lady Mary, whatever, in her drink. Huh. Okay. Well, I think that's all the information from the upstairs for now. This guy might be named Baker, but might not. And we haven't seen the kitchen yet. This is the kitchen. Is this a mattress? Why did I just get the word mattress? This is the attic of the kitchen. They have a mattress in here. Oh, I see. Look, someone's sleeping in here. There's a mattress and a pillow. Someone's sleeping in the attic above the kitchen. That's weird. Monkey Man 1 versus Striped Darkhand. This is a comic book? Didn't the Pear Brothers own Monkey Man comics? Monkey Man 2, Tooth for Tooth. Okay. Is that what I clicked on? I guess it's a hammer. Okay. A small bottle filled with amber liquid. A couple of pennies, a fancy handkerchief, and a shiny pocket watch. Oh, maybe this isn't a hammer. It's a key. It's too small to be a hammer, right? I mean, it could be a small hammer. But it seems pretty large to be a key. I don't know if these are just pennies. Maybe this is a pretty small bottle as well. It does say small bottle. Yeah, okay. I mean, these could be large keys, I guess. The keys seem to be an important theme of this episode, whatever the deal. Oh, are these... Do staff live here as well? So maybe this is the staff member who's lived here the longest. It looks much nicer than the upstairs apartments, though, right? They just look darker and more cramped. So maybe this is where Peter is staying. Stack of candles. Dear Diary, this has been an ordinary day, mostly spent in preparation for tomorrow's dinner event. Okay, this is definitely where a staff person lives. I do believe the time has come for me to ask for a raise in salary after all these years I have loyally worked here. It is a difficult conversation to be had, but I will strengthen my will and talk to Master about it tomorrow. April 7th. I don't know what today's date is, actually. Well, must be April 8th, because the dinner event is coming. So we've seen a bunch of letters from, like, February in the garbage. Were there any recent ones? February, March, February, no date, January, April. The fourth word of every line, pleased boy, freed lords, those have with dare. Doesn't seem right. Okay, back downstairs. Under the bed of the longest serving staff. Oh, I haven't even, all I read was his or her diary. Hortius, the wise slave. Fables about rulers that make you think. Ah! That's this guy. He's been reading this, right? Remember the story about the rich lord who married his donkey? So he is the senior servant in this area. As evidenced by... I mean, the person living here is clearly the senior because, like, their notes say so, and also his note upstairs that says so. And now this links him with this place. He also has an ink pot. And under the bed? A sealed pot labeled print paint? What is print paint? Down with parasites. Too long they have feasted on our blood and sweat. Oh, interesting. So maybe print paint is like printer ink? He's a member of a revolutionary organization that distributes flyers like this? That views the rich as parasites? And they give out stacks and stacks of these flyers? Like, he doesn't just have one, he has a whole stack of them. And print paint. For making more, I guess. The doors are all locked. Okay. The door to the outside is not locked. This is the pantry? I guess for some reason this looks like an open elevator shaft to me, like a dumbwaiter. But I guess it's just a door with a lock on it and some weird staining here that kind of gives the impression of shadow. 3 loaves of bread, lemons, a basket of potatoes, a sack of flour, a pair of opaque bottles labeled water. Okay. Cut vegetables, and a big piece of meat. I don't... One of these days, they're going to have to tell me what all this useless information is for. Alright, who are you? Of course I can give you some candles for your room, Lucia. I assume you are itching to continue reading that scandalous novel. Dear Ada. Oh, look, this one. This is the assassin's letter. This actually has something in the fourth line of every fourth word of every row. So first, the surface meaning. I have to use this letter to share good news. There's no substance to the claims that your late husband used his position to squander church money. The judge has decided to remove all accusations, and you will be no longer a threat of baseless gossip. I truly and sincerely hope this will provide some comfort in these dark times when ignorance and impudence go hand in hand. May our Lord steward over our poor souls. But if you look at the fourth word, we get use substance to remove target. And then after that, it just kind of says, sincerely, dark hand steward. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's a way to sign off. The guy's, you know, nom de plume, his pen name is Dark Hand Steward. Kind of seems like I wouldn't bother wasting 4 whole lines on that. But, okay, fine. So, Ada. Wait, where did I find this? The person currently speaking is Ada. You. You are Ada. And I believe you may be the murderer. I think Ada poisoned somebody. Because there's this letter saying, please poison somebody. And this person is Lucia. And we know... Wait a minute. Thank you, dear. No, I threw it out. I do not read such dirty literature anymore. I do hope our master's guests are satisfied and that Brian served everything as instructed. Aha, a first name for a servant. So we think this guy's name is Brian, because we haven't seen any other male servants. The dinner party will take place on April 8th. Everything should be ready before noon. Prepare roasted boar. The underline here is in a weird place. Young Ms. Richards appears not to enjoy meat, therefore prepare some alternative side dish. Okay, now we have a last name for her. It's Mary Richards. We knew that before, but we didn't have the word to put in yet. And I'm guessing this guy's also Richards. Ah, I forgot I have the Cloudsley name. Do I have Qbert yet for Rose? I don't see it. There it is. So we don't have last names for the servants. We haven't met the last person yet. And I don't know if I believe this claim about not reading such dirty literature. Because is it... It's... Well... I mean, it's in this person's... quarters. And this person also has... like... a love potion, instructions for using a love potion, and 2 dolls to, like... I guess, play house with? Maybe. So I don't think I've looked through this bedroom for some reason. Oh, hang on, there's something out here. 2 keys being... hung from here for some reason? This is close to the door to the outside, actually. Well, they're sort of most accessible from this bedroom. So maybe the person in this bedroom has some reason to want to be able to get at these keys? But they can't just put it in their room where they'll be found? Oh, a set of lockpicks. Okay, sneaky. Ash Blair Finest Tobacco. A gun, a knife. David, clean up the barn until Wednesday? What do you mean clean it up until Wednesday? Like, starting Wednesday, stop cleaning it up? Or spend all the time until Wednesday on cleaning up the barn as much as you can? Or, I don't know. I plan to You can zoom! I just accidentally touched the mouse wheel and it zoomed. I plan to continue experimenting with the artifact. So, this is David's room. This is the Brian's room down here. And these are the other 2 servants. I'm fairly sure this is Lucia's place because she still has the dirty literature. Alright, kitchen cabinet. Full and sealed bottles with red liquid labeled wine. A full and sealed bottle with amber liquid labeled brandy. Aha. So now I'll know what the colored liquids mean, I guess. Ah, and here's their dinner orders, I guess. Or their instructions? Yeah, maybe not their dinner orders, I don't know. Mrs. Smith. 2 eggs and a pot of tea each breakfast. No heavy food for dinner. Smith. Who do we have named Smith? What? Nobody. Okay. You are responsible for little Pip doing all his errands. I assume that's the kid who's in the last room we haven't looked at yet? No heavy food for dinner. Well, this is a dinner party. Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Baker? I don't have a baker who's attending the party, do I? Okay, so maybe all these people aren't actually at the party. They're just, like, staying here, but doing other stuff? Mr. Walker, I am to be woken up and dressed at 7 a.m. Get my daily newspaper in my room. Anyone have the newspaper? I mean, these are all servants, right? Yeah, these are all servants' quarters over here. I don't see any more rooms, but they're... Oh, don't forget someone's sleeping here. Oh, little Pip probably sleeps here, right? He's got comic books. I guess this... No, this goes downstairs. So where are all the other people who are supposedly staying here? Okay. To Mrs. Smith for 3 years of service. Okay, so Mrs. Smith is one of the people working here. Huh. Are these... I guess these are all the servants. So these aren't instructions that these persons have given. They are instructions to these persons. These are all EC's instructions. Mrs. Smith's job is give me breakfast and take little Pip out and... You know, Mrs. Smith, like, makes... She's, like, the cook or the chef. And also has to babysit little Pip. Mr. Walker, who I forget, is that the most senior one? I'm to be woken up dressed at 7. I expect to receive my daily newspaper by noon. Yes, and we know Edmund Cloudsley does carry a newspaper. He had that a few scenarios ago, and I forget if he has one now. I don't think so. Mrs. Baker, I expect all my rooms to be cleaned every day, twice on the days I have visitors. Yes. Okay, so Mrs. Baker is cleaning. And Mrs. Smith is cooking. I see. So you... What would I say? Okay, you're the one cleaning. Which is that you? It's so hard to go from like... Okay, yeah. There's just so little context here that I lose track of like what their faces exactly look like. So you're Ada, and I forget what you're cleaning. You're Mrs. Baker, Ada Baker. And you're Lucia Smith, right? Yeah. And Mr. Walker. Walker is the butler's name. Or I don't know if butler is the right word, but the male servant. The chief servant as well, I suppose. David Gorin. We don't have such a person right now. This is Little Pip. These sure are fine coats. An expensive cigar. What are you, 10? Little Pip, run to the city and grab me some ash, Blair tobacco, and a bottle of gin. Oh, I see. David has sent him to the shops to buy... Okay. So this is very clearly Little Pip. Little Pip. Okay, got all the names sorted finally. Bunch of coats. An overcoat and a hat, overcoat and a hat. This person has a box of cigars inside their coat, and it doesn't mention that it's a coat for some reason. This is very frilly. This must be Mary's. Dear Miss Richards, I enjoyed your company tremendously when I visited your father last month. I am certain that you would wish to hear the rest of my thoughts on the shortcomings of our society. Oh man, what an edgelord. I invite you and your father to a dinner at April 8th at my manor. Yes. Dear Mary, here is something for your diary from me. For you, I would fight a tiger and win. Peter Badley. Boy, what a, I mean, you know, for the time, not a bad art style, I guess. Just like, I don't think drawing is his life. I couldn't draw this well. It looks cartoonish, but, you know, for an amateur, I'm a little impressed. Doesn't really look like a tiger exactly. The mouth is all wrong, but and there's a fancy little syringe in here with some liquid. Okay, and we now have all the evidence. 40 minutes in, I've finished clicking on all the things and thinking about them. And now I have to think about them some more. I need to know... Okay, well, I can say Ada Baker poisoned something and hid the key in a... In a mattress, maybe? That might make sense. Was there a key hidden in the mattress, though? Yeah. Well, we know the person who died. Where is she? Is Rose Kubert. Wanted, so I assume she's the person who was wanted dead by somebody. Now, who was it that actually wanted her dead? Well, okay, we can definitely say Rose Kubert ingested the poison. Maybe it was someone else who was wanted dead. We don't actually know that, do we? Right, she's the one with the instructions. Use substance to remove target. Very vague instructions. Well, I genuinely don't know who was wanted dead. Well, I mean... A lot of people wanted Edmund dead, right? Yeah, I mean, pretty much all of his mail is like, how dare you, you will die soon. So I think maybe they intended to kill Edmund. But wouldn't Ada Baker, like, know what he was gonna drink and poison him instead of her? I don't understand what I'm supposed to fill in here. Oh, like who sleeps where? Yes, of course. I thought this was like a depiction of the kitchen cabinet. But no, it's like, okay, here's the cabinet. Cabinet? That's the word for this area? I guess? I would have called it like an office or something. But okay, figure out who sleeps where. I think from doing my like speed running of early... the early ones after installing the full version to get my demo progress carried over. The stuff over here is actually optional. I filled this in first and it was like, you win. And then I filled this in and it was like, I don't care. But, you know, it is a good way to help direct your thinking a bit. So, we know little Pip sleeps here. We know Brian Walker sleeps downstairs. I believe it's the second floor where Lucia sleeps, right? The Laceless Count. And that's Lucia. Yeah. Oops. This second. Here's what I meant. So figuring out who sleeps here is kind of important, right? Also notably, there's little Pip and 3 servants, right? But 5 things here. So I feel like I mean, maybe Edmund lives in one of these places, but I don't think so. Well, he must. Right? Because Peter Batley lives at Sebastian's Manor with Rose. And none of the rest of these people, these guys are visiting. So actually, Edmund Cloudsley must live at in one of these nooks. Interesting. And this, yes, this is the place where the assassin lives. Because it has a little reminder to her about how to be an assassin. And I couldn't find any other places where someone would sleep in this entire house. So, given that Edmund must sleep here somewhere, I think this must be where he sleeps. And he has, I mean, a pistol, a dagger. Well, who's David? Nobody's David, right? Ah, but David could sleep here. Maybe David's just not in the scene currently, and I don't have his name. Yes, David Gorin, he lives here. I forgot about that. He has to go in and out all the time. Yes. Okay, so I don't know where on Earth Edmund sleeps. Actually, he's not even here right now. No, there he is. I couldn't find him. Huh. Because there's just not... There's not any place else to stay in this house, right? This door goes outside. These stairs go up here, and this door goes back downstairs. Like, does he sleep in his office? What a weirdo. With the cabinet. Now, I forget. Did I already try going back here and reading the fourth word of each line? I don't think I did. But maybe. Hour the hour. No. You have anything? And reflect late 10th? No. Okay. But I mean, I guess part of the point, maybe, of this book on codes is like, oh, making it be the first word of each line is so easy to detect. Don't use that code, and then you're supposed to think about, oh, well, this one says this code is on the fourth line. But maybe it's just a general pattern for secret codes used in this culture that, like, you should look at the nth word. Here it's, like, tough because there isn't even, like, there's only one word on this line, right? But maybe this cultist guy's message has some... I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think there's anything to do with that right now. Maybe I'm wrong. Apparently there is a coded message in there somewhere. Or so a YouTube comment told me. So I guess next I should figure out who sat where and what they ate, because that will tell me. Gosh. It's hard to... I guess... Okay, this is the one at, like, the head of the table, right? And we can guess that might be Edmund's place. But more importantly, we can associate it with being here. A full glass of cloudy liquid untouched. A salad untouched. Partially empty glass of clear liquid. Well, the only clear liquid we found is water. So it would make some sense for this to be Edmund's setting, right? Because he's only drinking water. And he has some Pepto-Bismol. So that makes sense. And pretty much everyone else... I mean, if we assume... Yeah. If we imagine that back in the day, people actually listened to what their doctors said, then this person is drinking no alcohol and has Pepto-Bismol, but they haven't taken it yet because he hasn't even started on his salad. So I think Edmund Cloudsley was sitting here. A cigar. So it was Batley who wanted the cigars, right? No, David. But he's not at the party. The people at the party are Edmund, Rose, the Richards, and Peter Batley. I mean, if I had to guess which one of these people would be smoking a cigar, it would be Peter Batley, the reprobate. But sure. And this kid stole one cigar for himself, I guess. Good on you. Who? Nothing to do with me. Yeah. The beautiful lady sits next to... Yeah, I mean, understood. So we know that's Edmund. But how do I know who ate what? Her face is blotched. Yeah. No heavy food for dinner, so that's more evidence that it's Edmund's seat that has just the salad. Wait, why does he have a bottle? Amber liquid. So we haven't found any amber liquid, really, right? We know the yellow liquid is, I think, probably brandy. Or no, isn't the amber liquid brandy? Water. They have water. They have lemons. No one's drinking lemons. But red liquid is labeled wine. And amber liquid is brandy. But someone upstairs has yellow liquid, don't they? Lemonade? Well, let's see here. We know there's one other vegetarian at the party, or we know of one anyway. And that's Mrs. Richards, Mary. And so we could conclude she's sitting at one of these two seats. Now, I don't know, maybe there's some more enlightened way to figure this out. My suspicion is just, look, they wouldn't let a lady smoke a cigar during dinner back in the days. Only a man could be so rude and get away with it. So this must be where Mrs. Richards is sitting. Mary. To the right of Edmund. And we know Peter Batley is sitting next to her because he bribed the butler. And then we just have Rose and Lothar Richards to work out. And like I said, only a man could smoke this, so he must be sat here. No, I don't think this is 100% bulletproof, but it makes sense to me. Yeah, that's all correct. Maybe there was some other way to get there, but also maybe there wasn't. But this last thing of who wanted to kill Edmund Cloudsley is unclear to me. Peter Batley depends on him for money. I don't think it was him. Oh, also, now that we know where everybody sat, we can maybe ask what was poisoned. Right? We know Rose sat to Edmund's left, i.e. here. Uh-huh, yeah. So the Pepto-Bismol was poisoned. Because that's the only thing that she was the only one to drink. And also something a servant could reasonably be expected to know that Edmund would plan to drink. He just hadn't gotten to it yet. So I believe the tonic was poisoned. And hid the necessary key. The necessary key. The key to what? Oh, is this... Am I supposed to make note that this is a blue lock and therefore a blue key would go with it? So it's a key to the... Yeah, so the opium and the tonic are kept together because she just poisoned the tonic, I guess. And didn't feel like it would be a good idea to get rid of the opium. She just thought, I know, I'll hide the key so no one can ever look in there. So we're looking for a blue key. Was it in here? No, that's a syringe. In a pocket? I don't think so. Hide it in a cigar? I don't think so. But where else could it be? She didn't hide it in the roast, did she? Ada. I mean, Ada is the cleaning lady. Hiding it in here would make some sense, but I don't see evidence that it was hidden there, nor any way to claim that it was. I have seen a blue key somewhere, though. I've just forgotten. At least I think I have. Oh, well, let's look in her bedroom. Top floor. Oh, actually, wait a minute. What's this out here? These don't look like blue keys. Stack of candles, a book, an ink pot. I don't see an option to hide it in an ink pot, but... Okay, maybe she... Maybe it's not a blue key. Maybe it's just one of these keys. She hid it in a bag. Why would she do that? It doesn't totally make sense to me, but there are keys hidden in a bag here. Seems plausible, I guess. Now, little Pip, does he have that same key? Not really, right? These are different keys. This one's pretty similar to the one in the bag, actually. Basically just a straight line, very inefficient or insecure. But I think if there's a key hidden anywhere, it's hidden in a bag. Huh. So who wanted him dead? That's what I want to know. It could be David Gorin. Oh, actually, wait a minute. It might just be nobody here, right? One of these letters in the garbage, some hate mail, had an actual name attached. Right, this letter was sent a week ago, saying, "Be careful, I'll deal with you, Lord Bridges," or George Bridges, who I assume is a lord. Final Vanguard is also another thing, but this just looks like, I don't know, impotent wailing, and this looks like an actual threat. Ah, hang on. This actually is, like, we know it was a steward who poisoned him, right? The Brotherhood of Masks sent steward Ada Baker. Well, no. The steward sent Ada Baker. So, like, a steward was assigned to kill Edmund Cloudsley. Okay. Oh, Steward Darkhand? Is that the joke? Where did I learn about Darkhand? I know it was in the letter that Ada had on her person that I saw that. But that wasn't where I actually got the... Or Darkhand Steward. That isn't where I got the word. It must have been in one of Little Pip's comic books, maybe? Yeah, Striped Darkhand. I see. So I think it's the Darkhand Steward who wanted him dead. Yeah. Ash Baker received encoded instructions from Darkhand Steward to poison Edmund Cloudsley. She used her ability to move freely throughout the rooms while cleaning and made a copy of the key to the medicine cabinet. She used a syringe to poison a sealed peptic tonic bottle. However, during the party, Rose asked for tonic and drank it first and died from the poison. So how can I tell this is a copy of the key to the medicine cabinet? That's one thing I didn't really figure out. Like, yes, I see there are 2 keys out here hidden in a bag. But... And that's the medicine cabinet. That's all fine. But where's the key to the medicine cabinet? Like, how do I know that that's the right key? I don't know. That's a bit of a puzzler. Still, a success. No missteps along the way. I mean, I probably put, while I was doing some investigation, I put some things in that maybe weren't quite right at some point. But by the time I was ready to start filling everything in and submitting my answers, I got them all right, which I'm happy enough with. Right, like over here, I said, oh, clearly the person they wanted dead must be the dead person. But not so. So I had to move that down, for example. Alright, well, that was another little adventure that was enjoyable. Next time we'll move on to the explosive events in the forest cabin, where a dog barks at a guy so his hat falls off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.